When I joined the office, remember the year before I had published a law review article, that compulsion to write, the compulsion to establish my chops, And I had worked as a journalist and I had aspired to be a writer. And I thought I wrote reasonably well. And one day I said early on, within the first few weeks, to Shavelson, who was in Los Angeles, Jay, and Shavelson is Shavelson. I said, Jay, I think I'm a reasonably decent writer, but I know I could improve. I said, I keep a copy of Wyhoffen around, and I try to pay attention to really good legal writing when I encounter it, by Oliver Wendell Holmes, for example. But is there anything you can recommend I do or read? And he said, without hesitating, he says, yes. There is a lawyer in the Solicitor General's office named Louis Claiborne. Read anything, read any brief of his. I said, Well, our office had lots of cases against the United States, because this office, criminal cases, antitrust, with or against the United States. So I just wandered around the office, and the first thing you know, I had about 12 briefs that he had written, and every manner of case, everything except tax and antitrust, as a matter of fact. Those are the two areas that he never argued in the U.S. Supreme Court. And I knew then that he was, from that and from what other people said, well, he's the legend. He's the most unbelievable lawyer any of us has ever met. And so I was taking the Judas streetcar to and from work, and I'd read these briefs in astonishment. Because I knew something, but and what I tried to do is, what's the case about? And then think, how would I argue, Claiborne's side before reading what he did, right? How would I do it? And then I'd, on the street, crack the brief, and I would just be astonished. And then I think, well, he's got a real problem. He's got to answer, he's got to somehow deal with some difficult part of his case. And I just get filled with apprehension. When's he going to get to it? How's he going to do it? And then I'd watch, sometimes almost literally slack-jawed. My God, that's brilliant. I never would have thought of, Naturally, I'm trying to absorb as much of this.
So part of your introduction to Louis Claiborne was from your boss in the AG office, who hired you to say, this is the man who you can try to model your own writing for improvement on.
That's my point. Yes, that's how it happened. So there's this great lawyer, and now I'm reading. I know, I don't have to take anybody else's word for it. I haven't yet seen him argue before the court, and I would many, many times. So that's my introduction to Claiborne. He is the greatest living appellate lawyer, period. And everybody shared that view. Imagine my pleasant surprise as the years unfold. I get 3 cases against him. He and I become the best of friends, and he joins my law firm for the last 14 years of his life and becomes surrogate grandfather to my children and all of that.